start, and it's always that awkward. Okay, we're starting. I love it. There's no countdown. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the interview, the Influencer Podcast. My name is Spencer, Mr. Campbell Reviews. A lot of you know I'm here with Tashyla. She is a Amazon influencer, works full time, has kids, and manages to put it all together. So we're just going to start. And so talk to me a little bit about your journey, like when you originally got accepted, where you decided to be like, okay, I'm going to do this thing for real. And then where that's gotten you, where you're at now. And then we'll talk about questions and stuff like that based on that. So
I started in January 2024. That's when I got fit into the program. And I was initially for the first couple of months trying to figure it out, downloading or uploading videos. Probably initially was maybe doing 20 a month at first. And I was just like, dog jumping in.
no, that's fine.
Anything that was around my house, go ahead and record, not really knowing the basis of what I was recording. Okay, we're gonna make videos. And I was making a little bit here and there, maybe $20 here, $30. And then my real job, my normal 9 to 5 job, was super busy, so kind of stopped doing it for maybe 6-ish months. And then my life got really crazy. And then I was like, okay, it would be like 1 or 2 videos a month for maybe 4 months or so. So I had just kind of trickled away from it. And then in May of 2026, this year, I was like, it was 1 month, it was March 2026 that randomly I made $80. Like I would just check it periodically. And for that month, I made $80 just on old videos. And I was like, okay, my situation had now changed because I was going through a divorce and I was like, I need to make this work. I need the extra income and I need to figure out how to maneuver this thing. So once I got that $80 commission, it was like, okay, I can make this work. Let's find some people who have been in the program that I can cling on to and then hit it full force. So in May 2026, literally May 1st, I was like, okay, I'm gonna start uploading videos. I'm gonna figure out how to make the program work for me. And then just that month, I made like $400. So it worked.
So okay, let me go back. Let me go back a little bit. So in the year, so 2024, you're working full time. Life is busy. It's crazy. What do you do for full time work? Remind me.
I am a clinical coordinator for a orthodontist.
Okay.
So braces.
Okay. And so, I mean, essentially, like work all day, come home, kids, dinner, bedtime, like all of that stuff. When you were first starting out, how did you fit in your video? Like, how did you fit in your stuff? How did you fit in your videos?
So most of the time, during the week, because my son was in school, he was in first grade at the time. We had homework every night, so it would be more so on the weekends. Would kind of do any reviews just on the weekends because the week was so hard. Because not only do I work 9 to 5, not really, I actually work 7 to 5 every day, but then I also work from home too. My office carries on to when I get home, so I also have to log in for a couple hours, usually during the day or during the evening. So weekends is pretty much it for me.
So, were you doing like batch uploads where you would just get a bunch of stuff, or was it like the traditional, and this is, there's most people do this, stuff around your house that you've already bought on Amazon?
There's the stuff around the house that I bought.
Okay. So, for clarity, those of you that are listening, this is, so if you're going back in time, like 2024, it was kind of like the wild, wild west of the Amazon influencer program. You could get away with, this probably the wrong word, but you could just record videos and they would hit and they would stick and it would be fine. I think it was still the same in 2025. And then early 2025, we start getting like apps and tools and research stuff, and people start taking it a little bit more seriously. So you talked about, and I don't, I mean, I want to be real, right? We want to be real with people. So you talked about, so this year your situation changed, going through a divorce. Now you're working full time, single mom. you've got an elementary age kiddo. I'm assuming that you have family support, hopefully locally, that's helping out with different things and stuff like that. But now you've decided, okay, not only am I going to do all of this, I'm going to add this other thing on top of that. So talk a little bit about your decision to say, okay, I mean, obviously it was that $80, right? Which is like, what? How did this just like all of your products popped off? It wasn't even like prime deals or whatever. Um, so so kind of what internally were you just like, yep, I'm gonna do this and this is something that's gonna work.
Yeah, so that $80 did it for me, and then I would go on TikTok occasionally, and I would type in the search Amazon influencer, and I would kind of search people and see what they said and what they did to get started and how they were making a click. And then I came to you.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's not what this is about. This is not about me. I knew you
I
were gonna
know,
do
but
that.
that's a part of my
That's
secret.
I okay, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So you find a couple people to follow, and I know I'm not the only one because we've talked about this. Um, so you find a couple people, but you had already been approved for the influencer program, and so you were already in. Um, when you started, when you started like learning and doing creator connections and finding products and um, do you ever buy products? Do you invest in products to specifically review, or are you at this stage where, and I think a lot of people are at this stage, myself included. Sorry, that was my phone, my ring. Where I need something that I'm going to buy for my house. I will see if it has creator connections, and then if it has a high, and it might be something that you're like, oh, I don't really care what brand it is. I just need this thing. I'm going to find. Is that where you're at? And kind of walk us through, like when you're searching for those products, how do you do that?
Sure. So I definitely, if I need something in a house at this point, I always look to see if it's selling, how much it's selling, and if it has a creative connection. I'm not picking on the brands at this point. I always look for if it has a creative connection. I recently, actually last week, I started purchasing products to review, which I'm still I'm still nervous about because that's investing money and like I said, my circumstances change. So it's not like I have a ton of money to invest in things like that. So, that's a little nerve wracking, but I did start doing that. What I have felt like or what I've been learning is that especially because I'm not gold or platinum yet, it seems like companies on Creator Connection are a little more hesitant to send us silver and bronze people products lately. And so a lot of them, when they do reach back out, will say like, "Oh, well, you're not platinum," or so. I've started to because my the things that I get from Creator Connections have slowed down a little bit, and I was like, okay, I want to continue to make this work. So after taking Claire's course, I was like, okay, let's try to invest in a couple products, see how it goes, and make sure that the obviously Creative Connection commission is higher and that there's minimal people on the carousel comfortable. So we're gonna see how this goes because I did 3 products actually this.
Okay, and don't tell us what those products are. So for reference, for those of you that are listening to the first time and you're new to the Amazon influencer program or affiliate program, Claire, her tagline or her tag is Data Coach Claire. She's an Amazon influencer who does really well, 5 figures a month regularly. She's created a whole, like, she has a beginner course and then she has a, I would say, like an intermediate course. And that intermediate course is like once people get right around a certain number of videos, it helps them launch beyond like $1,000 a month. Roughly, that's the idea. And part of that process is purchasing products strictly with the idea of reviewing them as an investment to roll back in. There's much more than what I'm telling you. Tashyla and I have both taken the course. It's 6 weeks. There's a daily drop every day. It's absolutely fantastic. I'll link it below. She's phenomenal, super great, very friendly, very helpful, and she's updating that course all the time because things change with Amazon. So that's for reference. So when you talked about this big month in May. When you had the big month in May, had you started purchasing any products yet? And was this all free products? Have you gone to other places to review, like families' houses or, Airbnbs or different things? Everybody has a bunch of different strategies how they do that. What does that look like for you?
So the majority of it was from Creator Connection. And then I would ask like my coworkers if they had a product that they really liked, or if they said, "Hey, I just bought this off of Amazon," and I'll be like, "Hey, what is it?" And then I'll take a picture of it and scan it and see how it's selling and be like, "Hey, can I do a review on that? Can you bring it in for me?" So it would be things that my coworkers had. If I was visiting a friend's house and I seen something that they had real quick, I would scan it, do a review over there, but the majority of it came from like the things that I was getting from Creator Community. But if
Okay.
I found something that was nice in their house, I would scan it and also do a review there too.
Okay. So I asked the question now. So now your life situation has changed. When are you doing that? Is it still on the weekends? Is it late at night when your kiddo's asleep? Like, how does that work? Like, how are you doing that now? With like just the time and schedule and all that stuff.
Man, my life is hectic. So I every day at this point is when my son goes to bed or if he's up and I know that he's calm, I will do some videos. I try to do at least 3 to 5 every day. On the weekend, if I can bulk and do more. I was just visiting my family in Ohio, and when I came back, I had a ton of boxes to review. So
Right?
that it was just like back to back to back to back to back, like all day, every day. So usually at nighttime, once my son goes to bed and everything's kind of calm, I'll knock out my videos. I do my product research at nighttime, or sometimes on my lunch break, I'll go through because my laptop is always with me all the time. I'll do my product research then. So yeah, my schedule is like tight, but I really try to keep a schedule of everything because that's the only way for me that it works is just schedule everything out of what I need to accomplish today.
So let's talk about the schedule. I do a similar thing. We've talked about this before, you and I, about scheduling. Do you like, is it to the point where it's like, okay, I'm gonna do recordings from 9 to 10 or 9:30 to 11, and it's like on your calendar so you see it? Do you write it down? Like, how do you organize? Do you do it by the day? Do you do it by the week? Like, what does that look like for you? So this is for a new Amazon influencer is like, I don't have time to do it. It's like, well, I'm like, everybody has time. It just depends on when you want to do it, right? What have you cut out? How do you organize it? Yeah, walk us through that.
Sure, you have to make the plans. So one thing that I definitely after having a long day, I typically work like 10-hour days. So, and I work almost an hour away from home. So I'm gone for 12 hours easy a day. So when I get home, I want to just binge watch TV. So that's one of the things that I cut out. So when I get home and after I cook dinner, typically I'll watch TV. Well, that's not really an option at this point. When I'm done with everything, then I can do this. But I'll come home, cook dinner, and then on my schedule, I have the task more so, not really the timing per se. I'll have the tasks of what I want to complete for that day, and I will plan it out. I have a work schedule that I get, and then I have a planner on my tablet where I have all of my days that I'm working, as well as like the tasks that I want to complete for that day. So whenever I'm putting my calendar in for work is when I will put in my calendar of the things that I want to complete and how many videos I want to do. So it's less um for me, it's less time frames unless I'm talking about like how long I'm gonna do research. So, cause that I'll go down a rabbit hole and then be researching stuff. So, I have a time limit where it's 2 hours and I'm allowed to do product research. I want to complete 3 to 5 videos a day. I want to on the weekend try to do 10 videos on the weekends between Saturday and Sunday. So it's more so a checklist rather than time frames because my work schedule is so hectic and the things that I have to accomplish from work is so crazy. That I'm like, okay, I just need the checklist rather than the time frames locked in.
Okay, that's super helpful, and I think that will be helpful for a lot of new people. So roughly, and everybody asks this, you see this on forums and everybody, how many videos do you have up? So how many video reviews have you posted on your account?
Now I have 350 videos.
Okay. So 350 videos, and your average per video is actually pretty solid. That's higher than what normal people. So if you in the Amazon influencer community, people suggest if you can make $1 to $2 a video, that's $2 is solid, $3 is amazing. Anything more than that is fantastic. But the average is about $1 per video per month is what the data shows from a lot of people. Um, and so I think you're almost double that, working on tripling that probably for this month with Prime, which is great. Um, so okay, let's go back a little bit. You have a little guy, right? Or a little girl. I can't remember. It's a son, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Uh, how does and I have a little, not as little as yours, but I have other littles too, but they're teenagers and sometimes they act like littles. How do you explain kind of like, hey, I'm doing this thing, or is it all after he's asleep?
Especially with it being summer.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is, yeah, and like he's gonna be up. He wants to watch TV. He wants to run around like a madman. So it is times that I have to really kind of hone in with him and say, okay, son, remember that you want this Dragon Ball Z toy and you want all of these things. Well, in order for us to make that happen, I need you to kind of relax for a little bit. Give me 30 minutes to record these videos. I need you to kind of be quiet. And so he's gonna be 8 soon. So most of the
Okay.
time that works. However, he's also a boy and he's rambunctious and he wants to jump around and randomly scream. So at those times, especially, I make sure that I have my mics on and that we're canceling that noise out as much as possible. But yeah, a little conversation, a little bribery goes a long way with him for sure.
So you've talked a couple of times about like gear and stuff like that. It's like when you first started, I think there's a lot of people, you and I, we know we're in lives together. We talk with people. People want to get the perfect setup. They want to get the perfect all lighting and mics and all of that stuff. If you're a beginner, I mean, obviously you know more now than you did 2 years ago, but if you were suggesting must-haves for beginning Amazon influencers, like what would be like your three non-negotiables? Like, oh, you got to have X, Y, and Z, knowing that they're starting from scratch. Like, what would you recommend for brand new Amazon influencers?
Brand new influencers, I would say definitely a good mic. I would say a tripod makes a huge difference, especially now knowing that people do like to see you in the videos as opposed to you like holding it and showing them. Having a tripod and then filming yourself doing stuff makes a huge difference. And then I would say even even from the very beginning, I would say having a good like point or viral view. Even though they don't have a lot of videos, I think that that helped me so much when I started doing it regularly because I was able to use Oink to go through all of my orders, all the things that I ordered to see what was priority. Because when I first started, you record everything, and there's like 1% commission on it, and you waste it. But having Oink, if you can knock it out just a month. So I started off with just 1 month. I didn't do the whole year. And because I did that 1 month, I was able to go through all of my order history and then record all of those things. And that month was paid for. It actually paid for, it ended up paying for the year. So then
Right.
I just bought it for the year. So that, I think that if you are a person who orders already from Amazon a lot, just to save yourself the time and just go through that order list, see what has commissions or higher commission on it, what has created connection, and report all those things first. Because those things are going to make you the money to pay off the point or buy review.
I think actually all the tools out there that are there. And what we'll do, those of you that don't know what Oink or Vlomalogic or Viral View are, there are three tools that help you kind of grow and scale in your business. But the part that Tashila's talking about right now is the order history or gap. It's called something different on both of them. I can't remember what it's called, but basically you connect it to your storefront and your account, and it'll tell you all of the things that you have ordered from Amazon in the past, like ever. Like you can go by past year or ever, and then you can go find those items that you have purchased for your house or your kids or whatever. Now, some of the items you might not have anymore, or they've been broken or whatever, but then you can go review those items. So instead of randomly searching through your house for items, you can go down a detailed list. And that's something that's super helpful. I'm embarrassed every time I look at that list because I realize how much stuff we actually get from Amazon, and it's kind of crazy. Like it is crazy. And I'm just talking small stuff like batteries or, oh, we need this detergent and we need it here in 2 hours and we're, coming back from something, and it's just like it's anyway. Um so we'll put the link to Shiloh. I'll put your link down below for Viral View or Oink, whichever one you want. But so those tools are super, super helpful. So the other thing that you talked about just in there that I think is super important is um, you just use your phone, I'm assuming. Yep, just use your phone. And when I say just, most people are using their phone. Some people want to go full on camera. I've messed around with the little handheld, like 4K flip thing. It's not the DJI, but it's something like that. So I've messed around with that. But I don't think you need fancy equipment at all. Basically any phone that has a camera, um, and storage, right? Because you're gonna have stuff that you've got to store. But once it's so following that up, are you posting your content anywhere else at this point? No.
Oh, the plan is to do YouTube. I haven't gotten there yet, but that
No,
is
there's okay. Do you have like a goal in mind? I want to get to X amount of videos or X amount a month or before I move over to the second channel? Or is it like, no, I want to master the Amazon? Like what does that look like? When do you know, or when do you think you'll know like, oh, I'm ready to move to the next like level, I guess, quote unquote.
Yeah, I think I want to kind of master this first. I want to see that this is kind of consistent. Sometimes commissions are up and down and things come and go, and Prime Day just passed. So I want to make sure that this is something that I can consistently do, especially with my schedule being crazy. I want to focus on this. So I was thinking that maybe after about 3 months of hitting hitting 1K that I'll be like,
Okay.
okay, this is pretty steady. Let's jump over to YouTube and then start to kind of implement there too. However, I was also thinking, especially with Creative Connections and some of the companies, they like you to promote your stuff other places as well. I do post on Instagram and Facebook, um, kind of some of the videos if people are going to be interested in them.
Right.
But these companies really like YouTube, so I do want to do it a little bit sooner, even if it's just a few here and there, or if there are specific companies who are like, "Hey, can you post this to YouTube?" Make sure that I'm posting it on YouTube.
Okay. Or have you brands reaching out through Instagram or Facebook, or like where you're getting emails now from brands about saying, hey, we would love for you to review this product or that product? How do you manage that on top of everything else that you're doing?
I mean, I'm fortunate. It's fortunate, unfortunate, but I'm not getting a ton. So we
Okay.
kind of just go back and forth. Probably gotten about 10-ish over the past maybe 3 weeks or so.
Okay.
So I'm kind of just when I have time. Fortunately, these patient people have been patient with me because I'm a little slow responding right now. But yeah, I just usually at night I'll go through my emails until I get to people, and respond to them when things are calmed down right before bed, and then kind of negotiate in terms that way.
Okay. Cool. I'm assuming some of those are probably UGC deals too, where they're like, "Hey, listen, we want to pay, we want to own the video." That kind of
Mhm.
gets just mixed in. So for those of you that are new, that are listening, UGC is user generated content, which the Amazon influencer program is, but a lot of companies will just pay you to own the rights to the video, and they use that um, on their website or on Amazon or other places. And so that's something that goes really, really well together with the Amazon influencer program, in my opinion. But okay, so let's talk about, you've talked about friends, family, different things like that. When you tell people that you're an Amazon influencer and you make money by reviewing products, like I can see the smile on your face already, because it's like, what people are like, what? Like, walk me through, how do you explain it to people?
Still so cringe because I initially when I would talk to my friends and family and I would be like, "Oh, my side job, my side hustle," and they'll ask me, and I'll say, "Well, I'm an influencer for Amazon," but I'll break it down to them and tell them like, "Okay, initially when I started the program, you can just record all the things in your house, and then if people watch your video, then you can get a commission, and then they bought something like this for your video." Now, I explained to them it's a little bit more work than that. You have to make sure that the product is actually selling on Amazon. That right now that they have a campaign going on, where it has an even higher commission, and then same thing when they watch the video, they have to make a commission from that. And then they'll be like, "Oh, well, what's your page? I'll go support it," and things like that. But you know, calling myself an influencer is just so like, uh, I hate, I hate saying it.
It is funny. My supervisor asked me about it. So he was like, so hey, can you explain this to me? And I was like, yeah, this is what it is. And he's like, so like, and it's the, do you actually make money doing that? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And then, and they're like, well, well, what, how, like, and they want to get into specifics. I'm like, oh, I don't want to get into specifics, because then they're like, what? Shut up, for real. And I'm like, well, yeah. Um, do you are there so I was going to ask you this about the products. I think we all do this. When I say all of us, like every person I've talked to, or Amazon influencer for the most part, do you ever review products that you know are not going to sell, but it's like something that you want, or you want to give your kiddo, or like there's this new, toy that came out and you're like, oh my gosh, my kid would love that, I'm going to try and get it, knowing that you're not going to make money? And how do you, like, some people are like, no, I would never do that. And I'm like it's like speakers. I'm like, a Bluetooth speaker I will do almost every time, because I'm like, we're going to lose it. It's going to break. I can take it to school or whatever. How do you decide when you're going to do something for free and when you're like, I'm not going to do that one?
Sure. So in the beginning, I really didn't know any better. Like, especially even just in May when I started, I didn't realize how much stuff wasn't selling. So I was requesting everything. I was like, great, send it off. I'll record all the things. And then once I realized, like, wait, these things aren't really selling very much, so I probably shouldn't use them. So now, really, if it's something for my house that I need, I will do a video for it, even though I know I'm not going to make anything on it. If my son needs, or I know that he's going to enjoy it, I will review it. If my coworkers or one of my friends, if they say that they need something, then I will try to see if I can request one of those things and do a review so that I can just get to them. So I really try to, if I know that I have the ability or the possibility of getting something that someone else needs, then I will request that and do a video on it. Because it really doesn't take a lot of time for me to shoot a video and then be able to help somebody else out. So for those things, if it's for one of my friends or family that needs it, or for my son, definitely for the house, then I'll just go ahead and review it, as long as it's not like something crazy where I have to build it and put it together and it's taking up
Right.
more than my time.
I think that's amazing. And one of the things that I have realized, for the most part, most Amazon influencers are so caring and giving. Like, a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I just give this stuff away after and I have a limit where I'm like, I try to sell some stuff, but a lot of stuff I'm just like, I'll give it away. And I just think that's awesome. And it's one of the cool things about the program is, I'm starting to look for stuff for like backpacks. Like, I know my kiddos are going to want new backpacks for school. So I'm like, okay, like last year it was K-pop hunters. This year, what is it? And I'm like, okay, I don't know what it is because my girls haven't told me, but so I'll start looking for stuff like that just for that. So the reality is, let me ask you this. So how much time, honestly, do you spend a week uh, doing the Amazon influencer program? And what would you say is your kind of like hourly return on that time? Roughly. Like you don't need to give me like a specific like, $18.23 or $42.56, but what does that look like on average?
Say I do, if I can guess, I would probably say I do maybe 20 hours ish a week is what it maybe is between doing product research, which I sometimes spend too much time doing, and then recording videos. I probably do 2 hours ish a day of that, and then on the weekends maybe a little bit more. Um, so I would say an hour. I probably am ranging about $30 to $40 ish.
An hour. Okay. Um, and I would imagine that's probably, I mean, we don't need to get into, but that, I mean, that's my goal, right? My goal is to make outside of work what I do inside of work or more. And sometimes, depending on the day, sometimes you have those banger days where it just like all of the sales hit the right thing, and you're like, holy crap, I made like $110 today, and I only worked for like an hour. Or other days you're like, oh, I went negative today because people returned everything, and I spent 3 hours like doing work, and I didn't make any money. Um, in my opinion, and having done this now for 3 years, I think it averages out over the course of a year. If you're consistently doing things, you like look at the year and you're like, oh, I averaged $1,500 a month, or $2,000 a month, or $1,000 a month, or whatever. Um, so it's amazing, right? As far as and the thing, and I'll let you talk about it too, is like I love that you can be in control of when you do the thing. I've had jobs where side hustles, right? So I'm a middle school principal. I think most people know that. But like I worked at the airport, and we did that so we could get some free flights and do some stuff at the airport. But that was like horrible, hard. I had to be there. I had to be there early because you had to go through security and all this stuff. And this, I'm kind of like, if I don't want to do it today, I don't have to. Now, I try not to do that because you get 2 or 3 days in a row where you don't record, and you're like, "Oh, I don't wanna go down to I don't wanna record." Um, so how do you kinda keep yourself motivated to do stuff every day? Because I do find that that's what a lot of people lack, is the internal. So what do you have to motivate yourself for to just do it every day?
Like I said initially, like me hitting it hard with the program almost came out of like desperation. It was like, okay, I'm now by myself. I have to pay these bills. I have to, make sure my son is provided for. So when you are desperate times comes into desperate measures, right? So you just
Right,
say, okay, this is something that I have to make work. It's not a for me at this point, it's not even an option because I need to kind of supplement my income. I need the extra. So every day when I see my son and I say, okay, I know that I want to continue to give you the lifestyle that you have kind of always had and what you're accustomed to. So in order for me to do that, that does mean that I have to work a little bit harder. That does mean that I maybe have to go to sleep a little bit later. I have to wake up a little bit earlier to get all of things done in order to make sure that you're good and that I'm good and we have the things that we need. So that's a big motivator for me. But then also on the days, because there are some days where when the commission is low that day, I'm like, oh, where is this going? So then I hop on a couple of like videos, whether it's Fizz, whether it's yours, whether it's players, and then I kind of get some encouragement from different creators who are still in the program, seeing how they're doing things. Those things are super motivating too. And I know you don't want it to make it about you. I know. But you usually post like a little short clip on your story, and that is super helpful. It's things like that that really are like, okay, I'm discouraged today, but it's okay. We're just gonna keep pushing forward. I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing to see this through.
So if you could talk to yourself 2 years ago about this program or anybody else, but let's just say you're talking to yourself, what would you tell them about the Amazon influencer slash affiliate program? Maybe three things you wish you would have known, or what do you tell them? What advice do you give somebody that's starting literally like within the past month?
First thing is do not you can review everything, but make sure that it's selling. So as you're going around your house and taking pictures of what you want to record, make sure that that number says that they are getting some monthly. Don't waste your time on things that may not be selling, or do that way later because it may pick up at some point. I would tell myself to have a routine and consistently stick to it. If I want to make 3 videos a day or 2 videos or even one video a day, just stick to something. Set out a goal of what I want to accomplish or what you want to accomplish and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do every single day. And then also don't request everything from Creator Connection. You get so overwhelmed with every product that because you're so excited when you first get all of these things at your door. You're like, oh my god, all this stuff, and then you realize that you have to record all of this stuff, and then you realize, oh my goodness, I have 20 things to record, and 2 of them are selling, and I don't even have a use for this other stuff. So make sure that you don't request all the things that you don't necessarily need or want just because you're able to get it, because it's a complete waste of time. I think those are my biggest things that I probably would kind of keep in the back of my mind if I was just starting.
Okay. And one of them you said, and it's probably would fall into this next question. What mistakes did you make that you're like, oh, don't accept every product? Are there other mistakes that you kind of realized along the way, or maybe, I don't want to say bad habits, but habits that weren't as productive? Like what things would you recommend to avoid as a new Amazon influencer?
So one thing that I did, so this is a huge thing that had me pause for a long time. Actually. I would record footage of an item with no voice because at that time my son was younger, so he was really like noisy. It was chaos all the time. So I would record footage of an item and then I would do a voiceover later. It took I was so baffled the first several months. Like how are people posting this much content? Because this is taking me so long to record this footage and then send a voiceover. And then I was a perfectionist because I can hear it back. And I'm like,
Right.
oh, I said in this, but so keep recording it. It was taking me maybe 30 minutes to do one video. I couldn't even fathom how people were even in this program doing this. That was my number one mistake because I ended up giving up for several months because it was taking me so long. I couldn't even imagine how people were able to do it. And I realized it's a terrible idea. Just record it. Just record it and think about it. That's it.
Okay. What editing? I didn't ask you this. What editing program do you use?
And I use
One more to CapCut.
mm-hmm.
Okay. So for those that again that are new, CapCut is an app that you can get on Android or Google or Android or iPhone, and it's pretty user friendly. It has all of the tools that you would use. Okay, if there was one secret hack that you've learned over the past 2 years that you would say new influencers, and I know this is different, like what's one thing that you're like, okay, this is what I did, single mom doing this. This is one thing that I think anybody in my situation or a similar situation should know. Um, and then we'll give all your socials and stuff like that. But what's the one thing that you're like, I wish everybody knew, or if you're feeling discouraged, do this, or what's the one thing of advice that you would kind of end on for people that are in a similar situation that you are?
Well, the biggest thing I would say is just just try. to do the most that you can. Like not overwhelm yourself, but set a goal, set a deadline, say this is what you want to do, and then just keep doing it. Because sometimes we get distracted on, for me initially too, I would like look at Instagram or look at other influencers and want to imitate what they were doing and try to perfect it. And I would spend so much time almost researching how to do it that I wasn't actually just doing the program. So I would spend that much time researching. It doesn't, just do it. Just make the videos, record the content, if you could talk while you're doing it, that's perfect. And then put it up. Because some of my most ridiculous, there's one product that I posted. It was a random thing that really didn't have any sales. I had no idea that it would be anything. It was a smushy hamburger in a plastic bag. And I did a video of me like mushing it in my hand. It sold so many products. And I was just like, yeah, I think my son is gonna like this. It makes noise, it crinkles, it's gooey. It sold all the time. It didn't even have sales initially. But
Right. That's funny.
I was like, what? So just do it. Just do it. That's my
It
advice.
it got caught up in the dough fad that everybody is doing right now, the unboxing of those. So that is awesome. Okay, so if people want to follow your journey on TikTok, what's your handle?
On TikTok, it is TP Tips. So the letter T, the letter P, STIPS. TP Tips.
Okay. And then I will post it. We'll share it down below. If you are interested in getting Oink or Viral View, we'll post the links below, and that's going to support Tashilah. So we'll put her links down below. And just on a personal note, I will end this way. So Tashilah found me pretty early when I was like migrating from like just putting content up. And she was like coming to all the lives and all the stuff. She's always been super positive and super supportive. And so when I started thinking about doing a podcast, I was like, oh, I want to have Tashilah on. And because her energy, those of you that are watching, like her energy is just always positive. And even when things are not great, she's like always positive. So that's super awesome. Okay, I'm going to give you the final word. Is there anything that you want to finish on that you're like, hey, and then I'll hit end recording and we can stop there. So
Tell everybody that this is a fantastic program. I think that a lot of times, especially when people ask, like, what is it that you do? We think that that is a piece of cake. It is work. It's not hard work per se, but it is work. And consistency makes all the difference in the world. So you get in what you put in, or so the more work you put into it, the better off you're going to be. So just try to be consistent. Try to set up a good schedule, but anybody can do it. It doesn't take a rocket science to do it. It just takes determination and scheduling and getting things in order, and then finding those few people who can give you the tips along the way. Don't listen to all the noise, because if you listen to all the opinions, there's some of them contradict each other and then you're confused. So few people, listen to them, and then find what works best for you. Because not everything that even works for those few individuals will work for you. You just have to find those little things that help you to keep moving.
that is awesome. Okay, Tashilah, after I hit end recording, which I'm going to do right now, hold on for just a second. So